Hey everyone. Okay, so this exercise is really important. So if you guys do anything, this is going to be the one that I suggest that you focus on. The reason being is I'm going to educate you guys a little bit on buying personas, and then you're going to go ahead and um, you're going to create CTAs, calls to actions. And this you're going to need to pull into your 30 days of content. So we're actually doing it ahead of time. I will remind everyone um, beforehand that they need to do this and need to bring it with them to the workshop because it's going to make it much simpler for you. And this is just a good rule of thumb, guys. This is I'm going to give you guys keywords. I'm going to show you how to search for people that are using these words in their content online, who they're attracting. You can tell pretty fast um, who is what. And I will say that I will give you guys an idea of the life cycle based on the buying persona as well. So um, it's really fascinating information. Are we pigeonholing people? Yes, we are a little bit. You know, what makes really good content is a combination of two buying personas. So I mean, some people use all four. I don't like that mixed messaging. I really don't, but I do think that there are two strong buying personas for each person. So um, I'll just go ahead and jump right in because I don't want to take too long. A lot of this you guys are going to understand and then you're going to need to implement. So you guys remember your ideal client personality types. There's dominant, influence, conscientious, and steady. That's just a reminder at the beginning so you guys can kind of go back and review that. So here are your buying personas. There's competitive, there's spontaneous, there's humanistic, and methodical. Now, they are similar to these personality types. However, I want to emphasize this. Someone's buying persona can be, and most of the time is, different than their personality. It's very interesting. I think that we can have a primary personality type and a primary persona that are different than the personality type. So they people will have a primary. Sometimes it does match their disc personality. Sometimes it doesn't. So I'm going to go over these and real quick. And you guys are, like I said, you're going to understand because I'm going to give you some keywords. I'm going to tell you some things to look for. So competitive is that they want to know why you're better than the next guy. Like tell me why I should choose you. They also want to know what your qualifications are. Um, if so, what are they and why do they matter in this case? So what are your qualifications and why do they matter in this particular case with what you're selling? They don't want their time wasted and they don't need to be convinced that you can solve their problems quickly. So they don't need you to convince them. They want fast results. They do. They also want to know your qualifications and why you're better than the next guy. So they're looking for a competitive advantage is what they're looking for. Um, the spontaneous is they want to know that you're going to move, that you're a quick start, that the solution is going to be simple. So they don't want complicated, they want simple. Simplify it for me. If your product is the right fit for their needs. So if you have the right product for their needs in that moment and you're going to help them move towards it, then they're interested. They also want to know if they like you. They will buy based on how they feel. They'll buy if they like you, they won't buy if they don't. Um, they also want to know if you're going to bore them. So if you're going to bore them with stats and details, they're out. Then there's the humanistic. They want to know that you care, that you seek to build a relationship with them and add value with what they purchase from you. So anything that they purchase from you, they want to know that it's valuable and it's more than just extrinsic value, it's intrinsic as well, meaning it's not just the outer value, it's the inner value as well. Was it a good collaboration? Um, they they're they also want to know that you're not just in it for the money, right? So that's why they're looking for intrinsic as well as extrinsic. I think I'm pronouncing that right. And they don't want you to see them as another number. So I find that the people who have a humanistic buying persona, They're the ones that say, I don't want to be another avatar. So they really need to see that relationship and collaboration. They want to know that they are safe taking their time with their decision and that they have all the time in the world to make that decision. So um, if that's your people, then just know the life cycle tends to be longer. So where a typical funnel that is positioned, I'm going to say positioned to move people through fast and get buyers fast, they would focus more on the competitive and the spontaneous buying personas and not the humanistic and not the methodical. So if you are not interested in those types of funnels, just know that you may have a humanistic or a methodical buying persona. So people that you attract tend to be those same personas. So you're going to have a different type of funnel. You're going to have a different, you're going to focus more on nurture, on your nurture funnels than maybe someone who's in a competitive or spontaneous buying persona, or that's who they attract in. They're going to be able to use those typical funnels that you see, the sales funnels. So the methodical, these are the toughest ones, guys. So anyone that's selling to engineers who have a methodical buying persona, um, this is gonna take a minute. So they want to know the fine print details. These guys like details, details, details. They want organization always, always. So if you are thinking about positioning to the methodical buying persona, think about your website, think about your content, think about your profiles and how they are set up. Does everything work? It needs to work. Do your funnels work? They need to work. Otherwise, these guys are out fast. So they move out faster than they come in, is what I will say, especially if it's not organized. They want to know what your process is. They want to know what the evidence of your product, where's the evidence of what your product claims to do, where's the evidence. So these guys, while and sometimes I think that they're misunderstood because they just want the information. Like I don't want to steal your content, I just want a behind the scenes look to see if it's going to work and to see if it does what you say it's going to do. I'm not buying until I do. So anyone who um, has a SaaS company and they are doing the $1 month free membership for a month, they have a lot of methodical buyers because the methodical buyers need to get their hands dirty. They need to get in there. They need to see if it works. They need to see how it works. So they're the ones that tend to love that. A lot of people love the $1 ones, but I do notice that people design it specifically for the methodical ones that need a moment to try things out. They want documentation of the truth. So they like case studies. They want to know the exact formula of how your product solves their problems. Specifics. They want the specifics, and they want to make a slow, deliberate decision based on logic. So these two in here, the life cycle is longer, and it can be sped up with more touch points. So I'm going to say that one more time. You're humanistic and methodical, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to take them a long time. Although your humanistics, they do want that time, they want that space, they like to think about their decisions. However, you can speed both of these guys up by having more touch points. So, what does that mean? That means that if you were to create messaging and content and you were to attract these guys into a lead magnet, you would want more touch points, meaning they could have an email instead of it going out every 2 days or 3 days, you could have an email going out every day to warm them up faster because they're going to take longer. They're going to need more content. They're going to need more information. So I like to bite size this type of information and I like to drip it. So I like to drip it out over several weeks. That's right. And I always try to bring them back into a call. If you have questions that are specific for your industry, then jump on a call. I would love to support you in this. That's a really good call to action for the methodical and the humanistic. The humanistic wants to hear that you're interested in collaborating. So let me go into a further breakdown. So the competitive, yes, they tend to be like the D's. They are very much what is the competitive edge. Um, and you can see they want to know all these things. You have that information right there, so it's a little bit easier to read. I hear you guys, and you're like, hey, can you put it in a Word document? Yes, I can. I can do that. Number two, your spontaneity ones, they are your movers and shakers. They resemble the I personality. They really do. They want to move. They want it simple. They want the product that fits their needs. They want to like you. That's your spontaneous ones. They are very much like I personalities. Um, the the humanistic is very similar to S personalities. They're not so much about they don't have to be super touchy and feely, but they do want to know that you care and that you're interested in collaboration and building relationships. So this is very much a relationship build. Um, a lot of people will see this one as an S personality, but more leaning into the I personality, and I would agree. Yes, it is. I think that this is one of those cases where it can be both an S personality and an I, depending on the person's buying persona. So they tend to be the sloth equivalent on the buyer's journey. I will say they are the sloths. Yes, they are. They take their time. They like time. So I know people say the methodical ones are the tough ones to get to buy. I've actually experienced that the humanistic ones are tougher to get to buy because they take longer. And you really need to have high touch with these guys. It's not only that they take longer to make their buying decision, they also want to be continuously nurtured during their buying decisions. So you can't just leave them off to their own thoughts. So that is the humanistic, very similar to the S personality. And then we have the um, methodical. So the methodicals are very much like your C's. I know, surprise, surprise, right? However, I have found that this is a very interesting buying persona because I have known a lot of D personalities that when they're buying, they shift into this. They ask all the questions, they want organization, they want to know processes. And it's very interesting because usually they're fast action, but they will slow down. They will slow down and ask a lot of educated questions to get the answer. And I find that the D personalities sometimes they shift into this buying persona because they've had bad experiences. So just know that piece about them. All right, so I'm going to give you guys a pause. This is going to be a two-part video. I want to keep it short. I want you guys to go ahead and go over this first section and really think about who your ideal clients are when it comes to the buying persona. So, um, just take 5 minutes, 5 minutes, and read through the material and make a decision on who it is that you are attracting in, and then also make a decision, is it who you want to? So that's the decision that you get to make. That's the action step. Then you can move on to the next one. We're going to talk about keywords and phrases that you can use and then how to put together your CTAs. All right. Enjoy, guys.